could go wrong?
What? Everything went wrong. Huh? It was actually actively making our mental health worse. Huh?
Yeah, when everything started to go wrong.
What?
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Ugly Company podcast.
We're your hosts for today, Glennard
and Nicole. So Glennard, what are we talking about today?
Okay, well, today we are going to talk about Renovation in Singapore Part 2. So in the previous episode, we were talking about a general process of how we did our interior design and kind of like what are the issues that came up. Specifically, we ended off with lamination and our tip for you, which is to take initiative in doing what you want to do for your own house.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to talk to the
don't
interior designer if you feel like they are not doing something that suits your style.
Yeah, because it should be your vision, it's not his vision.
Yes, you are living with the consequences.
So now, we are going to talk about even more troubles that we have, and more importantly, renovation lessons to take away even after that process is completed. Okay, so let's talk about tiles. So tiles is another point of contention that we had, right? And we also learned this through this process. We were quoted in our original quotation, the 45 to 55k quotation for
cheap ass tiles.
Standard tiles. I think what they call it is 30 by 30 tiles, square tiles only, right? And this was not something that was mentioned to us when our interior designers brought us tile shopping. So we went to a store called Hafari.
Yeah.
Looking at all these amazing, beautiful tiles.
Yeah.
And not once did he mention that, your tiles is only quoted for 30 by 30. What he said was, choose what looks nice and what you will enjoy in your house, which is what we did.
Yeah.
We went there and, so to be fair to the store, right, the store is really very nice. The store, they really display all the different types of tiles you can imagine in this, I think 2 or 3 story building, and they are all kind of separated by different types, different styles, different manufacturers.
Yeah.
So we enjoyed our time shopping.
Yeah, I think if you have nothing to do, you can just go down to the shop.
if you have nothing to do, if you are thinking about your upcoming renovation,
you can just go down to the shop and fantasize what you would like your house to look like.
Yeah, you can just do it on your own. You don't need to wait for an interior designer to shop.
You don't need an appointment.
You don't need an appointment. You can just walk in.
It's a great couple's idea.
Yeah, it's a couple day idea. So with that in mind, right, of choosing what we love.
Yeah.
We went in and we found a few pieces that we like. So first thing, we found something for our floors.
Yeah.
Right. And our floors, we wanted it a very light grey, large format tiles.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think the initial one we chose was 120 cm by 60 cm. So imagine a large rectangle about this big.
Yeah.
Right. And then we were looking also at the other variations, right? So that same manufacturer would sell smaller ones, 60 by 60, 30 by 30, etc. Okay. We also went to look at our bathroom tiles. So when we were looking at our bathroom tiles, we wanted to differentiate the floor and the walls. Right, we didn't want a full continuation. And also you had a very specific requirement.
Yeah, I have a very specific requirement, which is I don't want square tiles.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, the square tiles always remind me of public toilets.
Bathrooms.
Yeah, so no square white tiles.
Yeah, so we had a very hard requirement, no square white tiles. So with that in mind, right, we found something that we really like, which is this very thin.
It's called subway tiles.
Yeah, very thin subway tiles, very bright in color, very bold in color.
Yeah.
So the original one we chose, right, was we chose a few green and blue ones. They really look like gemstones, like the very bright kind of blue and very bright kind of green. So we really, really loved it. Okay, so we chose these few already, right? And the bathroom, we use the same floor as our kitchen.
Yeah.
So that one, we only need to choose once lah.
Yeah.
So our ID went to speak to Hafari's kind of administration supplier. The salesperson. And then, they gave us a price.
Yeah.
And then at that moment, after an hour or 2 of shopping, we found out, it turns out that our tiles is 3 to 4 times more expensive
than what was quoted.
So that came as a shock to us.
Yeah. Oh, and there was another thing that I realized, right? I think we found out on that day itself, which is the way they price the tiles, right?
Yeah.
The price you need to see whether it's per tile or per square foot.
Oh yeah, so
that
they
was
do
something that
differentiate.
it's like it's like it's not standardized throughout the whole thing on. So I think that was something that like, oh shucks, I think the thing is, I think the ones that we chose were actually the very expensive ones. I think it was like per tile or something.
Correct.
It wasn't per square foot.
Yeah.
Then it's like, oh man, why it tastes so good?
Yeah. Yeah. So not only that, right? So we said, okay, we are okay with the floor, but the walls are a bit too much because they were by per tile, right? They weren't by per square foot. So imagine, right, like this one single tile, right? One single tile is the same price as the whole square foot of another tile. So okay, we went in again round 2, slightly disappointed.
Oh my god.
And then okay, we found larger tiles. We know to look out for per tile, not to choose those tiles.
Oh yeah.
So we went to choose a per square foot tile.
Yeah.
So we found it, and it was again a slightly larger format. I think like 90 cm by 30 cm or 90 cm by 60 cm. So I think not the best, but I think we were okay with it. And we also decided, right, since we couldn't do like that double color a style, we said, okay, why not, we do similar to our kitchen. Our bottom would be a certain color, and then our top would be a certain color. So the bottom would be a darker color, the top would be slightly brighter.
Yeah.
Right. So we went ahead, we go in that.
We still got the subway tiles though.
Yeah.
Maybe not the same
top
one.
was the subway tiles, but a different type of subway tiles that was per square foot.
Yeah.
And then we also thought about, okay, how can we make it more interesting? Because like right now it's still kind of basic. So we said, okay, can we do like, a diagonal shape?
I think initially we were thinking diagonal, but because like the workmanship was a bit too much.
So okay, we choose the tiles already, right? So we were going to walk home, right? And we were going to sign with Hafari to say, okay, we want these 3 or 4 different tiles for everything that we need. And then at the same time, our designer was saying that, oh, okay, we can do what you want. We can do that diamond shape and all that.
Yeah.
So we said goodbye to the designer. We went home, and then on our way home, right, he messaged us, hey, I just heard from my tiler, right? So what he's saying that if you want to do the diamond shape, right, it actually costs more.
Yeah.
And then we were like, what? Huh? He said, yeah, because it's harder to do the diamond shape.
Yeah.
Then in my mind, right, like I was in the car with Nicole, right? I was like, then why at the shop you say it's okay? Why at the shop you suggested that it was a good idea? Like, good idea to go ahead with this when you have all these hidden charges that you didn't tell us.
Yeah.
Then he also said another thing, which is the 1200 by 120 by 60 cm large format tiles. Those were also going to be an extra charge. Then I was like, huh? How come? But those are square tiles, what? We are not doing anything special to it, what? They say, oh no, it's just a workmanship thing. It's also more expensive. Huh? So like, that was a very depressing car ride back.
The disappointment.
Yeah. So we called back to Hafari. We said like, hey, can we change to 60 by 60 instead of 60 by 120? And again, we had to go back to the tiler and ask like, okay, would there be any workmanship price difference? He said, so this one is cheaper because 60 by 60 is easier to work with. But it's still more expensive than the 30 by 30. Yeah. So then, after having a disappointing result for 2 times in a row, by the time we hit the 3rd time, we just said, can whatever.
We'll pay. Pay.
That was genuinely right, like one of the more like emotional moments I remember. Because the kitchen and the bathroom was something that you were particularly.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I have very high expectations for bathrooms.
Yeah. So I think seeing that was quite sad for us lah.
I think especially because it was kind of, in a way, it's like you set up the expectation that it can be done. So then after that you kind of say that, will be you need to pay more, because the expectation is that you don't need to pay more. So
the expectation is that it's included in the quotation already.
Yeah, there's no need to pay an extra service charge like that. So then the disappointment is harder because it's the expectation versus reality kind of thing.
Yeah, you're set up to be disappointed.
Set up to fail.
Yeah. So on the side of the tiles, right? Nothing bad to say about Hafari the shop.
Yeah.
Everything to say
I don't
about
think it's their fault.
our designer and communication lah. So that was something that if you have already watched this podcast, then that is something you know to be aware of. You know to be thinking about when you're choosing your quotation or with your interior designer. Make sure that communication is clear.
Yeah.
Okay. So next, so on our end, right? So we have talked about our kind of way of life being a certain way, slightly more unique than other people. And one of those ways that it is more unique from other people, right, is I actually like, and you also like using 3M tapes to hang things.
Okay.
Okay. So usually what I find right in Singapore is the vertical space is not being used a lot.
Yeah.
So both of us, right, we have since growing up, we have found different ways to incorporate vertical space a bit more in decoration. In Singapore in particular, right, it's actually quite challenging to do any kind of nail in or screw in because some walls are structural, some walls are not. And then anytime you are trying to...
This is not... I thought this was structural.
No, it's like... It's not structural, you don't know.
I didn't know.
It's not. Yeah, so... And when it's not structural, right, you don't know how much... people generally don't want to screw in, like drill into their own walls.
Yeah. Doesn't look nice.
So the alternative for us, right, is 3M tapes.
Yeah.
So these very strong double-sided tape that you can put hangers on.
So 3M tapes are something that we like to use. Like for example, like the puzzles you see behind us are hang with 3M tapes, I believe. Yeah, so but then one thing that we realize is that somehow in this house, the 3M tapes are not that strong as how we remembered to be. The thing is, I don't know, is it because 3M is deteriorating as a product or like it's our paint? It's our like wall paint.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, so to give a kind of like a recap of, so we've had a few things fail in our house. So starting from the most extensive to the least lah. So we hung a clock.
A clock, yeah.
About this size clock.
Yeah, it's a normal wall clock.
That fell.
Yeah.
And we do put a lot of 3M. It's not, just 1 week 3M. It's quite a lot of the double-sided tape. We have hung our clothes hanger just to put our jeans and our pants in the wall in our bedroom.
Oh yeah, it started with that. Then after that, we decided to just drill a hole.
Yeah. We have hung...
I think a puzzle.
We have hung...
I hung do you know the puzzle
fall?
there?
Did it fall?
Something fell. Then I think it broke. It broke something. But something was there.
So,
something was at the dining table because the 3M was still left up there.
Okay. Oh yeah. So yeah.
I think it could be a puzzle piece.
So we one of the puzzles fell.
And then it broke the
frame.
It broke the frame.
But the puzzle itself didn't break.
Yeah.
Because the glue was strong enough.
Good thing.
Yeah, good lucky. We have to rebuild the puzzle.
Screamed.
Yeah. The one of the door stoppers.
Oh
fell also.
yeah. The door stoppers.
Yeah.
That was so
and then lastly all the small decoration, like you see the Chinese New Year decorations, things like that. Right. So there is a collection of things falling. And we don't really know why. Because so our house, right, in terms of the painting, right, so it is a mix of... Actually, we didn't retain any old painting from the previous owner. Everything is painted over, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. So we don't know if it's a case of painting not being done properly. We don't know if it is a case of, because we've also hung things on doors. And we didn't do anything special to the door. So the door itself came to us. It should be workable.
Yeah.
The first few times, sometimes when it comes off, the tape itself comes off. So that would seem to imply that the tapes are failing. Like modern tapes are somehow worse than the tapes that we were using in our childhood.
Yeah.
But sometimes the paint itself come off. Right. So the tape is still stuck to the paint.
Oh yeah.
And it's the paint that chips
paint
off.
came off. Yeah.
Right. So we until now, right, we still don't know what is the reason our pieces are coming apart. But we do know that it is something that we no longer use for things that have to stay up.
Yeah. And also I think heavy things.
The thing is, according to the packaging, right, it's supposed to carry up to 7.2 kg or 3.6 kg.
That's why I don't know, is it like 3M probably also failing.
That's why I say no, I see like at our
By
side,
big
right,
tape.
we can't tell what is the thing that's falling and what is the thing that's not. And to kind of really speak about 3M specifically, right, the reason why we use 3M relative to just normal mounting tape or double side tape, right, is because it's a tape that we can remove cleanly. It always has the tab that you can pull and then it kind of comes off. So so I don't know whether to park this under a renovation failure.
It's just minor annoyance.
Yeah, it's annoyance with our house ownership and our decoration style. Okay.
Actually, it's nothing to do with the idea.
There's nothing to do with the idea.
We just want to complain. You just want to complain. So what do you think about the podcast so far? Oh yeah, I think it's very interesting also.
How about you? You think that the workshop that they have described is so incredible? Wow, I think so too.
And you know what else? You can actually get 10% off the workshops on our website where you use our coupon code
UWC Podcast. That's UWC PODCAST. What do they learn in each of our workshops?
You can learn basic woodworking skills like sawing, drilling,
sanding. So if you have ever wanted to pick up woodworking on your own, please feel free to come to our website at
www.uglywoodcompany.com
and sign up for one of our workshops. They are all newcomer friendly.
Now back to the show.
Okay.
But another thing so the next thing that actually has something to do with the ID and is a major annoyance to me. Major annoyance that I actually just want to change the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is our effing vinyl flooring.
Yeah. So the vinyl flooring has been our biggest
bane of my existence.
Bane of our existence. Almost since the inception, actually. Almost since it was installed.
Even at the start.
Right. So let's walk them through kind of like how we chose this in the first place. And then all the way up until today.
Yeah. So the thing is at the start, I think we actually wanted tiles, right? But it was actually quite expensive.
I believe if my memory serves me
right.
Because I
never had you can say first.
If my memory serves me right, it is the 45k is for vinyl, the 55k is for tile. If my memory serves me right.
Okay. Yeah. I remember we had a price comparison where the tiles add quite a substantial amount to the budget. And then we were like, I think a bit hard.
Yeah.
So we were like, okay, fine. It's like, then we'll just choose we just chose vinyl since I think that was also something that was kind of becoming more popular with newer houses. So we're thinking like, what could go wrong? What a death flag.
What, everything went wrong?
Yeah, when everything started to go wrong.
So so firstly, how did we choose our vinyl? Do you remember?
I can't remember.
Okay. So the vinyl was recommended by our interior designer. He gave us a series of different colours. And all we did was we chose a light coloured greyish vinyl tile.
Kind of beige colour.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then it's a very simple design. Nothing crazy.
Nothing fantastic. Yeah.
And bear in mind, neither of us have any experience with vinyl. We didn't know that vinyl had different like types or
that country of origin
durability
also makes a difference.
Yeah. So when we bought this, right, we were like, okay, it's just a floor.
Yeah.
We have no expectations on what the floor needs to be or should be, other than it's not too slippery. That's all we wanted.
Oh yeah.
And not too dark, because we didn't like
because actually originally the previous owner of the house, they had like dark brown vinyl flooring. So then because we didn't want that, so actually we removed everything and like replaced it with our own light coloured flooring.
Right. So when we what the ID told us, right, was okay, there are two ways to do it. You can either lay over or you can remove it and then check the concrete whether it's flat and then put over the new vinyl.
Yeah.
The problem is if you remove it, right, and we check that it's not flat, you need to add an additional $1,000 for this thing called self-leveling chemical.
Yeah.
So supposedly it helps the flooring be totally flat, so there are no uneven like spaces in between.
Why didn't we overlay?
So my reasoning at that time, right, was that okay, if we did it their way, we would have their warranty. We would have their guarantee that everything will work.
Ah.
So I remember I pitched it to you as, okay, let's just pay the extra $1,000 as a 5-year guarantee. Rather than, take the risk and then something goes wrong and then it's our own fault for not following their advice.
Okay.
That was my thinking at that time.
Yeah.
So we did it. They said, yes, self-leveling chemical is necessary.
Yeah.
We went ahead. Okay. So when it's installed, right? So at first it looks very nice.
Yeah.
It really does look nice. It feels okay. I don't know whether vinyl is supposed to feel incredible, but it feels like what floors should feel like.
Yeah.
And then my mom came over. So my mom, right, and my uncle used to be, my uncle specifically, he used to be a tiler. He used to be a flooring kind of technician, I guess. Basically, he's the one who installs it.
Yeah.
So he taught my mom a few tips and tricks. And my mom has always been a very, pays particular attention to the flooring. When she came, right, and she was spending some time here, she told me, and bear in mind, she also has no experience with vinyl, right? She told me, hey Glennard, how come your flooring sound hollow one? And then she would knock. And then like 50 to 70% of them sounded hollow. So I was really confused. I was like, is flooring not supposed to sound like that? I said, I have no idea. Because she was not a vinyl expert. So we asked our ID. Our ID said, okay, let me get in contact with the supplier. Supplier came down. Nice little kind of technician came down and he asked us what's wrong. We said, my mom checked the floor and said it sounded hollow. I said, what do you mean sound hollow? And he, I pointed it out to the few that I knew were hollow.
Yeah.
He checked. He had this thing to check also. He said, it's supposed to be like that. Then I was like, what do you mean? It's a what do you call? I forget what was the term he said, but it's like it's a hollow system.
Okay.
Then I said, or it's like a lay on top system. So I said, it's supposed to be like that.
Okay.
Then he said, yeah. And then so basically that was his one trip down just to tell me that it's supposed to be like that. Then the ID couldn't tell me, So we were like, okay, so I mean it is what it is lah.
Yeah.
So then what happened, right, was, okay, so I started mopping. I started cleaning the floor as, we do lah once we move in. One of the things about this vinyl, right, is for some reason when I sweep or when I mop the floor, there would still be areas where the markings remain. And because our vinyl it has like kind of wooden pattern, right?
Yeah.
You couldn't differentiate what was the genuine pattern of the vinyl and what was something that happened because you dragged your chair or your table.
Yeah.
So that drove me crazy. But it only drives you crazy when you're mopping the floor. So it's something that happens once a week or twice a week. So, small issue. Then the problem started to come. We only just started the problem.
Yeah.
We started noticing, right, that the vinyl in our bedroom started to warp.
Only our bedroom.
For
some reason.
Correct. It was only our bedroom.
Yeah.
So bear in mind, our bedroom is the place that we spend the most time in.
Yeah.
Right. Our desk, our computer desk were there. Our main showering bathroom is there. So everything is there. So it was the only room that was, having this problem. And it kept starting to warp. So we ignored it for a while.
Yeah.
And then it reached a point, right, where it became really too obvious to ignore.
Yeah.
It became a point, right, where you would step on one side of the tile, the other one would pop up a full height above the tile, the neighbor that it's supposed to lean on. So something like this, where it was leaning on top of each other.
Yeah.
If you were stepping on it lah.
Yeah.
Right. So then we said, okay, I'm not sure if this has any consequences for my house. Let's call the ID.
Yeah.
The ID came. He went to check. So he said, where was the problem area? We showed him where it was. Where our desk was.
The ID himself came down, right?
The ID himself plus the technician came down. The vinyl installer came down.
Okay.
He told us where's the issue. And I asked him, like, is this supposed to happen?
Yeah.
He said, have you ever spilled water on it?
Oh, yeah.
I said, yeah lah, of course I've spilled water on it. Like, Then
Like we accidentally just knock one cup
correct,
over.
you knock over a bottle of water and then the normal spills that happen lah.
It's not even that big of a spill.
It's a reasonable spill lah.
Yeah.
And then he said, oh yeah, so this vinyl cannot, soak up water. And I was like, but it's a floor leh.
Then how I mop?
Yeah, correct. Then my next question is like, how should I mop? They said, oh no, mopping is okay. You cannot just let water pull up. Then I said, but I didn't let water pull up. The moment it spilled, right, I cleaned it up and then I got rid of it. I didn't leave the water.
Like there was no puddle of water sitting there for a few hours.
Okay, then we were again confused. Then he said, okay, where is the problem area? So we traced it to be directly outside of the bathroom. So he said, okay, then of course the question being alarming, right, is the bathroom leaking?
Yeah.
He said that could be a concern. Let me check.
So leaking in a sense that like they actually did some waterproofing between the bathroom and our bedroom. So it's more of like if that waterproofing
has failed,
then the water will kind of like the shower. Like what I imagine is like the shower area, the water will kind of like seep into the next room.
Yes. That's exactly right lah. So then so he did some investigation, right? He was like checking. He got the bathroom guy to come in also, check all the waterproofing. The bathroom guy said no issue.
Yeah.
Okay. Then he went downstairs also, asked the downstairs neighbor, is there any leaking from your house?
Yeah.
Also no issue. So then, but ultimately things still needed to be replaced.
Yeah.
So we got it replaced, and then when the two installers came down to replace it, they took a photo of the concrete that was left behind after you remove the vinyl. So what it looked, I don't know whether I still have the picture. I think maybe not because I changed my phone. But
I think I might still have the picture.
What happened, right, was there was this big weird pool of water, a puddle looking patch of concrete outside the bathroom.
Yeah.
So we were like very confused. It's like, how could this be? Is it then when we sent this picture to the ID, he said, oh, like how are you cleaning the bathroom and all that. So I said, oh, it could be that, sometimes I pour water in the bathroom, then it leaks out.
Oh, yeah.
So I was okay to admit and recognize that, okay, maybe I was the problem at this point.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got it fixed. We had to move all our stuff out of the room. We got it fixed, came back. No
it was
less.
a big work.
It was a big, progress.
It lasted a couple of weeks.
Yeah. The actual installation only took like one week.
Day.
2 days. One day and then another day.
Yeah, but the main thing was letting the concrete dry.
Yeah. So he had to open it up, let it dry. So our stuff was out.
So for like a good 2 weeks or so, we were like kind of like navigating our flooring so that we don't step on the concrete.
Yeah. So we had them install it right after everything is resolved, right? No less than 3 months later, things started to warp again.
Yeah.
And then we were like,
what the heck?
how can this be?
What the heck?
I definitely didn't spill any water in these 3 months. Number one.
Right.
Number two, I installed water traps at my bathroom door to prevent any kind of like spillage from washing.
Yeah.
Where is this warping coming from? And I think we tried living with it lah. But basically it reached a point, right, where we said to ourselves, okay, I don't want to go through that installation process again. I think we'll just live with what we have.
I think we installed twice actually.
No,
was it not
twice?
Once only. Oh, I thought we installed twice. Then I was like fed up already.
Yeah, but I think, no, the very frustrating thing, right, is this time, right, it actually warped worse than last time.
Oh.
If you remember, right, like, because we haven't peeled it up, we don't know whether there's the same puddle downstairs.
Yeah.
But this time, right, the warp was so bad that it started cracking where our
it started to crack
where our chair wheels would pass.
Yeah.
So I think we were just like kind of so fed up with it that we didn't even tell the ID. We were just
because I didn't want to deal with the ID already.
Yeah, like we were just done with dealing with the ID.
Because the thing is, actually also when you were communicating with the ID about this, right, I kind of felt like I didn't like his attitude at all. Yeah, then, okay, so the thing is, I have said this to like a couple of people, right, like my parents or something. Then after that, they say, could it be because we sometimes, so I think almost every night we will on the aircon, but we don't leave it on overnight. We only on it overnight during the weekends. So my parents were saying that could it be because we on the aircon, then there will be condensation, and then because of that, it actually made the floor wet. as in that was kind of like one of the reasons. But the thing is, it still boils down to like, how can the flooring be that bad that like
How can the flooring be that weak?
be that weak that like your aircon condensation it's not even like I have like
Flood it with water.
I didn't flood it like a kitchen like that. I didn't flood the whole thing with water that like it can cause the vinyl to pop. Because the thing is, the vinyl popping area happens to be just underneath the aircon also.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But our aircon didn't leak. We can guarantee our aircon did not leak.
Yeah. Our aircon is like working fine. So so like ultimately it's like I'm just waiting for the time to change to tiles.
Yeah. So all these things, right, have kind of really led us to the conclusion that we will never ever recommend vinyl again to anybody.
I'm like a staunch anti-vinyl person now.
So the thing is, like, you know, every time we make these kind of comments, right, to our friends, right, so we always get 2 or 3 different kinds of responses. First one, right, is no lah, it must be your tiles is lousy. Because our tiles have no issue.
Like our vinyl have no issue. It's like, do you see where the vinyls come from? Because I was talking to my cousin about this because I know his
So they will try to sell us better tiles, better vinyl basically.
Or rather he was saying that like need to check that, or like they got it from a more I think they maybe sourced it from actually a specialized vinyl company. So it's like, as in that's what he told me. So then he said it's like, the vinyl need to come from a certain country, I think like Belgium or something.
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, if your vinyl comes from, let's say like China or something, then the quality won't be that good. But like if it comes from like Belgium, then like it's good quality, won't have this problem.
The other one I've heard is like our vinyl is the thin vinyl, then we are supposed to get like the 12mm vinyl or something. So in other words, right, basically
a lot of people are trying to justify it.
Yeah, a lot of people will try to justify, and then justify that your tiles suck, that's why you're having this issue. The second kind of person, right, will say, okay lah, I understand you have this problem, but it's so much cheaper. I still want to do it. And to those people, right, you know,
to each his own, man.
To each his own. You're adults. You can make your own.
You suffer your own consequences.
You can make your own. You can make your own decisions. You
suffer the actions of your own consequences.
Yeah.
The consequences of your own actions.
The way I see it, right, is, I will never again choose vinyl, right?
Yeah.
When it is such a fickle material, to an extent where, you know, you have something underneath your feet that you cannot trust.
Yeah.
I think that is fundamentally our issue.
Yeah.
If we knew that, you know, saving that 10K would give us so much trouble for the 5 years, right? We would have gladly removed some of our luxury requests from our interior design just to incorporate the tiles. Because it is such a ongoing problem that it is very frustrating.
That can be ignored also. Because the thing is, especially since it happened in our master bedroom, which is like what you say, right? The place where we hang out the most. We'll always be walking there. When like it's such an annoyance that like every time I walk past the area, it's like, oh no, I'm reminded of this problem. Then to the point where actually I keep complaining to you every time when I walk past. Then you say that like, can you stop saying I know the problem or something like that?
So our relationship, right, is such that we are very transparent with each other, right? We always say, okay, tell me what are your worries. You know, let me take some burden off of you. This is the only time in our 9-year relationship, right, where I have told you, right, that please stop complaining to me about this. Because I am experiencing the same thing as you and I am as frustrated as you.
I think because
it was actually actively making our mental health worse.
I think because at that time it felt like I thought you were okay with it because you didn't mention anything. You didn't mention anything at all, so I thought you were like fine with it. That's why like I keep saying
because you were not fine with it.
Yeah, I was definitely not fine with it. Then I thought you were okay to live with it because
but not known to you, I am also not fine with it.
I didn't know that you were actually like annoyed by it also. So I think it got to a point where I just told Glennard that like after 5 years.
We're going to
change it to tiles already. I will invest in good tiles.
Have we saved up enough to?
We haven't searched how much is it actually. We might need to do some research.
But have we made any savings?
I mean, it's just that account.
No,
we never set.
No. We need to set aside.
Okay,
we cannot. You must set aside this
amount. Okay, we'll set aside now. We have this video as proof.
Okay, so I think we've mostly covered kind of like all the lessons we've learned, all the troubles that we have, with our renovation journey. Right. So I think the last few minutes I want to spend on this TikTok, right? On this TikTok. Last few minutes I want to spend on this podcast, right? Is really
very long 30-minute TikTok.
It's really just to kind of like really share what we have learned. Not necessarily about kind of like you as a homeowner per se, but just like about the industry in general. And kind of like put yourself in the position where you might better understand why and how they do certain things.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So after our renovation, right, we had a friend of a friend who actually became an interior designer themselves.
Yeah.
And that is when we learned, right, that interior designers, right, like a few jobs in the Singaporean industry, right, don't actually have a fixed salary. And that shocked me because I didn't think Singapore would have this process. Basically, right, interior designers who are starting out basically are unpaid interns. They do not have a fixed salary until they get their own customers.
They don't even have like basic salary.
They have a
like,
very
how, like,
minimal basic salary. It's like less than like 1,000-ish. Like really intern kind of salary for the amount of work that they do.
It's like, like insurance agents, like if you don't sell,
Yeah.
you at least still have like maybe let's say 3,000 per month.
No.
As your basic
Do insurance
salary.
agents have a base 3,000?
I don't know. I never say, but it's something like that.
Yeah, my understanding
I thought it was like that.
It's less than 3,000. It's like it's like really an internship pay. It's enough to cover your transport and basic meals, but you have no savings, you have no nothing. And that drives, right, interior designers to be very client facing, client focused, very sales focused.
Yeah.
And I think even worse than that, right, it's because so much of their salary is based on commission. There is this overt or underlying interest, right? Not interest, sorry, urge, right, to overcharge customers. Because how their costing works, right, is they don't charge a design fee directly. They don't say, okay, my design fee is $10,000. When we bought our house, right, we had to pay our property agent.
Yeah, like an agent fee.
So the property agent fee was, I think, 1% or 1 to
5%.
No, it's not 5%. It's like 1 to 3%.
Yeah.
Right. So ours, we had a discounted rate because it was a friend of a friend again. But it was really a flat rate based on the sale of the price. So on the ID side, right, it is not based because the house is just one kind of like big number. On their side, right, because every single item they have to quote separately. So there is this kind of like temptation to say like, okay, the tile is $2, I'm going to sell you $20 to upcharge you for the same item.
Okay.
And it is a very, I personally feel very uncomfortable with this. Right. So like that can let you see what kind of decisions that they make. I'll give you an example, right? Is we talk about lighting and the lighting fixtures. So Singapore, one of the things you see on TikTok, right, very commonly is, let's go to JB to buy our lights. Let's go buy our lights on Taobao.
Or even fans.
Or fans, everything like fixtures.
Everything
any kind of fixtures.
Anything.
And as much as we want to, work with local industries, local small businesses, right? Like the fact that this is something that is ongoing, right, where they upcharge us so much for the same item, it feels very uncomfortable doing that. Because when we bought our lights, right, for our dining room, right, it was like a few $100s.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And when we literally saw a better light in a shop, 3 traffic lights down, in a very kind of like quiet area, they were selling a better light than what we were sold. A better lighting fixture than what we were sold. Less than $100. Same, it's still in Singapore,
Yeah.
And it was like, why are we doing this?
But the thing is, because the lighting was also... Actually, a lot of the fixtures are suggested by the ID.
Correct. No, that's the point I'm trying to make. We only went to the first shop because it was suggested by the ID and we didn't have any experience. So we trusted him and then this was where we were led to lah. The only reason we went to that, three traffic lights down shop, right, was because I said to him, I want a light that doesn't have that, that stupid cool, warm, the 3 light modes. Because
You hate warm lighting so
no,
much.
okay, I'm gonna say right, this is not because I hate
What
warm
a
lighting.
hater.
This is not because I hate warm lighting. This is because I want one button to be one button.
Okay.
How this lights works, right, is on off light mode 1,
Yeah,
on
yeah,
off
yeah.
mode 2, on off mode 3. I don't want that. If you want that, right, you give me another button that let me choose mode 1, mode 2, like a remote
Oh, yeah,
control.
yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
one button that's just on. Because I always want a certain mode for a certain.
Yeah.
Like- So I'm okay to have multiple modes, right? Like when people come over or all that. But I don't want it to be like, okay, if I want to experience warm light, right, I have to click like 6 times to get back to my warm light.
Yeah.
The fact that, IDs don't have their own fixed salary and they are so dependent on commission, right? It drives kind of these decisions that are not consumer friendly at all.
The thing is, I'm pretty sure they also have like partners with other, like, like the fixtures. They probably work together with that company. Then maybe if you bring customers to them, maybe they can get some.
They themselves get some kickback.
Is it illegal?
I have no idea.
I thought normally this guy is not legal.
Yeah, but that actually brings me to
like the kickback from the supplier.
That actually brings me to my second point, right?
No.
Which is IDs are required to find their own contractors. You would think that, right? Like, because I came from the architecture industry, right? They all work with in the same big firm, right? So all these resources are shared. IDs don't share any resources one there.
Even if from the same company.
Yeah. So like their contractors that they have, right, is all kind of like their own industry closely guarded secret. They don't share it internally one. Like what they do share internally, right, is just their brand power. It's just their, awards to say like, oh, I am from ABC interior design. I am of a certain quality. It doesn't mean that their colleague, right, has access to that same quality and resources. That shocked me, like when I found that out.
So actually, like, if you find a ID from like a certain company, right, your ID himself or herself could be a hit or miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That genuinely shocked me. It's like,
so actually, the company that we chose, right, it may not have bad IDs. We may just land on the bad ID.
Correct.
But like, another person might have a wonderful experience for all we know.
That was what really, really shocked me because I didn't know it was so dependent on the individual. I really, really thought, right, like and ours was a big company. I really thought going with a big company, right, there is that.
Like with like a known brand.
Assured, yeah, correct. It's like you
got
buy
the recognition.
You buy from a big company precisely because there is some brand assurance that the quality, the product quality is a certain level. I genuinely didn't expect a big company to operate the same as a small company. Other than the brand. What resources do they have? The HR and marketing resources to pay for advertisement.
Yeah. So actually, like, maybe smaller solo IDs might be more reliable.
So it really depends on what you are looking for in your ID. Because some people will go into ID, right, expecting them to solve every problem.
Okay.
So they don't want to be bothered with small questions. Some people go into an ID, right, wanting to micromanage everything. Some people go into ID with budget in mind.
Yeah.
Some people want good quality. So I think it's like a dating like that.
If you micromanage, you might as well just find contractors.
Not necessary. Not necessary.
Yeah.
But yeah, it really feels like it's like harder than dating. Because you don't know what the person is like until you have done it.
Yeah, until you have interviewed them.
Which is also why word of mouth is such an important kind of
that's true.
component for them.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And then I think so just a few kind of small points I have for you, right? So on a personal level, right, would you agree with me that maintenance is more important than aesthetics?
Maintenance in what sense?
Maintenance of your house in terms of cleanliness, hygiene, working, whether it works or not.
I would say that I feel like the maintenance adds to the aesthetic.
What?
No, in a sense that okay, then what is aesthetic?
Aesthetic is just how nice it looks lah.
Yeah.
How
so
Instagrammable.
Yeah. So that means if you're able to maintain well, then by right, as a result, your aesthetic should be good, ma.
No, when I say maintain well, I mean like it works leh. So
Works
like our
what?
vinyl works and our our plumbing, that the kitchen tap that you always complain about. I would say that it doesn't work lah. Yeah, so for example our kitchen tap, right, I would say it's hard to clean and hard to make work.
Yeah, and the water pressure is
Yeah.
damn small. I don't know why.
Yeah, no, so I'm talking about that. Like the
Okay, then I would say maintenance. I would say like functionally it has to work.
and it has to be easy to clean.
Yes. Yeah. I realized the vinyl that we have, right? It stains very easily.
Yeah.
Like it gets dirty very easily. And the thing is because both of us, we grew up with tiled, superior tiled flooring houses, right? We never really experienced the
Things don't stain tiles the way they stain vinyl.
I think it's easier to clean off the stain. Or like you can
No,
actually,
they don't stain. They just
you
like
can throw more harsh chemicals on it. I don't think it will
yeah.
spoil.
That's my point. Yeah.
No, then also it's not that it doesn't get dusty or like sticky that often. But maybe
Yeah.
that's just like because we don't clean that often.
Okay.
No, but it's like yeah.
My next point is okay. So
then you eh?
Oh, huh?
You
no,
eh?
I obviously agree. I to me right, like
Maybe it's aesthetic.
okay, to me right, like the Instagrammability of a house, right?
Maybe you want to plot twist everybody. It's actually aesthetics.
No. I personally don't think right, like for your house, the Instagrammability aesthetics of it, right, is important.
I remember you said before you don't want our house to look like an IKEA catalog.
Yeah. Because I don't like the feeling of like I need to navigate around my house to make sure I don't like, disrupt a certain like feng shui.
But do you think it's because it boils down to your personality also?
Oh, of course lah.
Yeah,
It's definitely
your way of life.
It's definitely a personality thing. There are people who feel who take comfort in cleaning up. I will never be one of those people. Yeah. So for me, right, it is like I'm comfortable in my mess.
Yeah. I mean, I would say it's a organized mess.
Okay. My next point, right, is the showroom is not indicative of workmanship. That's my next controversial statement.
What showroom?
The interior design showroom.
Oh, like they have the
display lah.
Yeah,
basically.
like for ours they had the like kind of like a kitchen
Kitchen
layout.
island,
Kitchen layout, and then at the back is where you discuss all the stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not indicative of workmanship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because for that showroom they can do until very nice one, but it's like it might not translate to your actual work also.
Okay, so let's talk about workmanship a bit, right? So earlier on we were talking about IDs needing to find their own contractors and subcontractors, right? So that is actually the biggest impact on your workmanship, whether they found the right guy or not. Because for us, right, our workmanship, okay, we talk about carpentry alone now, because especially I'm more familiar with. Our carpentry guy, right, has 3 or 4 carpenters under him. So I have seen the main kind of boss or manager before. And I have seen his 3 or 4 guys coming into work. So they rotate. Every time coming in, only 2 people. Okay. So they will rotate back and forth. And you can tell, right? And I can even point to you, right, specifically where in our house, right, it was done by an apprentice and it was done by the experience or the boss. Because for those things, right, like the workmanship is really not there for the apprentice. So even though you say like, okay, I have signed a contract with you expecting a certain level of workmanship, that may not be what is delivered in person. Much less to say in the showroom, right, where like going back to our previous point, IDs have to find their own contractors. They don't have a shared resource. Yeah. So what is a showroom for? Ultimately, it's just what features are available, but not a indicative of like the workmanship quality.
Plus the showroom is staged.
No. So they are staging their products.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of like a fixed rollout of products, right? But not the quality of the installation. ID is unique, right? In that like both the product and the quality is kind of 2 independent states.
Okay.
There are things that like have to be independently controlled for. They are not like, we are very used to mass manufacture things in the IKEA like factory that you come out of the factory, it's a certain, there is quality control. Workmanship has no quality control. It's just purely up to the carpenter.
Right.
So so in our house, right, I can explicitly point out to you where it was done by a expert and where it was done by a trainee.
So where?
I'm not going to tell you.
But you say you can tell.
I can tell. I'm not going to tell you because if I tell you, you'll keep looking at it.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and then my last point, right, is you should always be nice to your contractors and your subcontractors.
Oh.
That is my last point.
Yeah. I think you should be nice to all service staff.
You should be nice to all service
If
staff
not, they'll spit in your food.
No. As much as the fear of spitting in your food is, right, I think you have to remember, right, that you are spending so much money, right. The majority of the money is not earned by these. It's not earned by these like technicians and staff and installers. Like, as much as you want to be angry at them, right, there's really no point, because they are just there, they want to do a good job and they just want to move on to the next one. They are there to make a living. The money you're paying for, right, the bulk of it really goes to the boss. Sometimes not even your interior designer, sometimes go to the management of the interior designer. So as much as we are frustrated by all the troubles that we have, right, it is not right to take it out on your contractors and subcontractors. And something that my mom taught me, right, is that every time she goes to do a site visit for the renovation project, she will always bring in drinks, whether it's coffee or soft drinks or water. Because when you help them, the installers are the one installing in your house, right? So the more energized, the more happy they are, right, the better a job they will do. Right? They will care for you if you show that you care for them. A lot of people don't actually understand this idea, right? So a lot of Singaporeans, okay, I don't say it's unique to Singaporeans, but a lot of homeowners, right, they are clearly anxious about their own homes. They take it out on the installers. And the installers also, being very frustrated at this homeowner, also take it out on the thing that they do. So always be nice to your contractors and your subcons.
I think in any service, because like what when you say about your mom bringing drinks, I realize it's something that my uncle does also. Then I think my uncle does construction, or maybe I don't know, is it construction or is also like contractor kind of work. So when we have those kind of services, like those funeral service, there's the people who like do up the funeral,
the setup stuff.
The setup stuff, right? Then it's like my uncles will always pass them drinks. Right? Yeah. So I think it's just to also in a way you maintain the relationship so that as a result you get the job well done also. Yeah.
It is twofold lah. It is to show appreciation for their hard work, like their labor, their literal labor under the sun or the rain. But it is also kind of like as a principle, right? Like just to be nice to them, and then as an economic thing to make sure they don't screw up. It's one preventive matter you can take into your own hands.
So do you give drinks to our contractor?
Sometimes.
Or if we have
I will tell you one very short story.
So you may not always have drinks.
Because sometimes I just like unexpectedly pop in. I wasn't planning to pop in.
Okay.
So I'll tell you one very short story, right? So like it caught me by surprise.
Okay.
So I came into the house, right, quite late in the evening, like 6-7 o'clock, thinking that I was just looking at the home, like the partially built home by myself. So I walk in, right? I have the password to my own home. I walk in, and then I turn around the corner into my bathroom, right? I suddenly see this guy squatting down, quite dark. So I got a shock.
As in, the room was dark.
The toilet was dark.
Okay.
So I was turning into the toilet. I turned my head into the toilet.
It's very late night.
No, it's 6-7 o'clock.
Okay.
But I thought usually they end earlier. So then he said, "Oh, hello. I just finished installing."
Okay.
Then I said, "Oh, okay." So this was me like being shocked already. So I barely forced out a response.
Okay.
Like, "Oh, okay, thanks." Then I said, "Hey, 好看吗?" Like, "Hey, do you think this looks nice?" So that caught me even more off guard because I didn't know what I was paying attention to. I was like, yeah, it looks good."
What was he doing?
So he was tiling the bathroom.
Okay.
And then, so what he said, right, was he had just finished grinding up the color to make sure the grout matches the tile color, which was, I think, an extra step that he was doing because I wasn't
This is for the
planning
wall
for that for the wall tiles.
Okay.
So I wasn't expecting that, and I was just assuming it was white grout. So he was doing that, I presume, as a extra favor. But he caught me so off guard. I was so scared that in my own home, right, and like the sun was getting dark. So like when he asked me, "Hey, 你觉得好看吗?" Then I obviously got a shock. I don't know what I was looking at. I just say yes.
Okay.
But yeah, like but when I say yes, right, you can see his smile lah. He obviously feels happy that he did a good job. So even though I didn't know what job he was doing, I'm glad he feels good. He did a good job. So yeah, it's always nice to be nice lah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but I would say that, okay, now that you say it's about the bathroom tiles, when I first saw that the grout matches the colour of the tile, it's like, oh, okay, that's like a
It's a
nice touch.
yeah.
That's a nice touch that I wasn't expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see the ups and downs in our renovation journey. We mostly mention the downs because we want this podcast to be something that you take away.
Warning tale.
For your own
lesson learned.
Future, your own personal journeys.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of ups also that we didn't mention. We also want to show appreciation to them. But if you're ever interested, just again write them down in the comments. We will share them when we see it. But yeah, so I think that's the end of our podcast for today. So before we go, we would like to give you, our lovely listeners, some unsolicited advice. So this week, Glennard, myself, I will be giving my advice. So my advice is always be nice to any service staff, so they don't spit in your food.
That was what I said.
Okay, bye.
Oh, you steal my advice.
Thank you for listening to the Ugly Wood Company podcast. If you're interested in booking our services, please go to our website at www.uglywoodcompany.com and use the coupon code UWC Podcast for 10% off. That's UWC PODCAST. Links in the description.